Well, hello everyone. Little, rough morning. Uh, uh, for those who saw my short, uh, my stepfather passed away. Passed away in his sleep. Uh, so I mean, it's difficult. I mean, that was literally my job. I was a uh, personal health care assistant, as a home health aide, but they changed my title because of some kind of stupid regulation in the government. But yeah, I was I was an aide. I was an assistant. Anything and everything needed, I was there. From doing dishes and laundry to building a shed, from you know cleaning up spills, changing bed sheets, transferring them, to and from chairs, seats, the medical side of end of life care. He was in hospice. A lot of stuff going on. But anything and everything he needed, I was there for him, and that's one of the reasons why my body is so messed up, is because I don't do things, at half. I go full tilt and nothing else. I just wanted to put it in perspective here. My stepfather was born in 1943. 1943. That is wild. That is wild. He was in Indonesia. He was in Papua New Guinea. He was running mine equipment all around the world. He was the lead hoist operator at several facilities. This man was so sought after that even in his 60s and 70s, the mining companies were still calling this house, asking, begging him to fly around the globe and train their new employees on how to work the machines, because they're still using the same machines today in a lot of these places. They were offering him millions of dollars. What was it? 15 years ago, they called him up and offered him $10 million to train somebody in some just dark corner of the globe. Offered him $10 million, but he had to turn him down because he could not fly. My stepfather had radiation poisoning from working in mines like this. Deep underground, they're collecting ore, they're collecting all kinds of stuff for everything. And in these mines, there's a thing called radon gas. It wasn't a big, huge thing back then, so they didn't know. He got radiation poisoning from breathing it in. Anybody remember rock candy? You get that weird wooden stick with the ball in the end, and then it just crystals on top. They called it candy, but it was just glass on a stick. That's what his lungs looked like because of this. It was hard on him. Life was hard on him. It's just it sucked. But he was always in good spirits. He was always moseying about. We called it the Tommy Shuffle, because You don't have to pick up your feet when you can just drag them. This this man went through pretty much a pair of shoes a month, just by scooting around the house. He would have been a lot taller had he didn't wear down so much of his feet. I mean, this guy, he's an amazing man. But, like, this is the kind of stuff that he was working with. This is a transportation cart. Look at it. Look at that. He was working in stuff like this. That's a crazy machine. Underground, doing all this stuff. It's called a mucker. They have all these carts on railways going underground every which way and stuff, and you mine the whatever you're mining, you throw it in a cart and it goes on down the road. But these carts come behind. These carts come behind. This part here is just wide enough to fit between the rails. Because you see it's on rails here. You got this cone shape here and this cone shape here. It cleans out everything between the rails so nothing gets derailed. Between, like say they have 10 mining carts of stuff, and they're pushing it down the road. One of these will be behind it, cleaning up all the debris that falls off onto the tracks so that none of the carts get derailed. I mean, that's crazy stuff. I mean, look at this. This isn't one that he specifically used, but this is one of the ones from that time. I mean, this is flatland type buckets. This bucket doesn't work like a regular excavator, the ones that, you dig and then it comes underneath and stuff. No, these guys bite upward, you move over, and then the base drops out. You can see it right here. This base opens up, and then it can close. I mean, these things are amazing pieces of equipment. This is called a hoist. This is what he was trained for. This is what I'm talking about. He literally worked his life on one of these. They're hard to find decent pictures of, but basically, you've got a guy in a room. Running this machine. They call it a hoist room. Literally, it's a hoist, and there's a room that controls it. It's a hoist room. So they're sitting there. They've got a radio, and I say radio, but all it is think Saved by the Bell, Mr. Belding, his little handheld thing with the little push button on it. Or anytime you see a police show and they touch the little button and talk into the radio, that's what it was. And then they had different ones down in the hole. Because this rail system, or this hoist, this went however deep the hole was. And he was so well trained that he knew specific connections in the cable system. He could see which knuckle was coming up, and he knew exactly where that was at. He'd count the rotations of the wheel at the top here. He'd count the rotations of it. He knew, okay, if it's at this position and that knuckle is there, then the cart that is holding 20 guys is at, level 5. They're calling him up on the radio and saying, hey, we got to be taken to 2. He knows how many rotations and what knuckle to look for, or what, twist in the cable to look for, where it'll just pull him up, and then he could stop him. This man was so good at his job, he could hit each level within an inch or two. That's insane. That's that's wild. This is mining, underground mining. This is the stuff that he was doing. This is how he started his career. You got your mining railways here. People are taking debris here. I mean, this is what built America. This is a mine in can't remember if this was Papua New Guinea or Indonesia, but this was a mine. There, yeah, this is like the main system here. All the little buildings here, but right here is the hoist. Right here's the hoist. It's like there's so much, but here's the hoist room. Here's the hoist room. He's got his phone here. These are all his controls, his dials, everything. Now this isn't my stepdad. This is 5,000 foot mine shaft. 5,000 feet. That's massive. But this is what I was talking about. He sits in a hoist room. He sees what's going on. He monitors everything. The lives in this person's hands. It's insane. Think of this. Your job is to hoist up a 10,000 pound cart on a pulley system with 20 guys on it and equipment, and you have to get them to a specific level by looking at markings on a cable system. You have to know what the markings mean. You have to know everything. I mean, all these dials, they're there as a redundancy. You're talking speed, pressure, brake temperature, because these things worked on a brake system. Your levers aren't speeding up or releasing anything. Your levers are basically brakes, like brake calipers on a vehicle that stop the hoist from moving. You've got brakes as in you're pulling a lever and it's pulling the motor closer to the machine so that the belt isn't tight, so it's not pulling. And there's a lot to go off of. You're not flipping a switch or pushing a button on an elevator. You're moving, 8 different knobs and levers and switches, reading brake temperature and engine speed, and trying to count rotations, just so that you know that you're getting people to the level, and they're not losing limbs or anything. It's crazy. But yeah, this is a hoist engine. This is a hoist engine. You've got the engine here. This whole engine. Here's your pulleys. Here's your bands. Look at this. That is insane. Here, I'll put it back in. Yeah. See, got your engine. Boom. All this. This is your piston engine. It's pushing. It works like the old steam engine trains. Piston comes in, pushes this around, and it goes and it rotates it, and that's your engine. You've got all your steam pipes and everything, your exhausts, and then you have your cable system going up and over. I mean, there's so much to this, so much. This guy had stories for days. Stories for days. some of the dirtiest jokes. I mean, I literally cannot say any joke that he's ever told me on here because one, YouTube would pull my channel, and two, I'd get so much hate for it because one, it's gonna be dirty. Two, it would, yeah, it's just bad news. But I mean, this guy pulled jokes on everybody. He'd tell you a story about a woman that got shot by a cop, and he would have you on the edge of your seat, and then you're gonna want to punch him in the face because it's a damn joke. It's oh, did you hear about the lady that was over at the gas station over at, input intersection, a known gas station to your area? She was pumping gas and a cop shot her. And people, what happened? What happened? And then he'd go, oh yeah, she was pumping gas, and nozzle got away from her, splashed on her, a spark hit, and arm caught fire. Cop came up and shot her because she was waving her firearm out. And it's like, really we're gonna go there, man? But I mean, that's like the cleanest joke I can tell that he's told, and it it's messed up. But I mean, this guy, he'd pull jokes on the nurses. He'd make the nurses blush. Getting a damn straight answer out of him was almost impossible. Ask him any question, he brushed off as a joke. He didn't like any of the nurses. He had nurses that would come in. They're a little too loud, and he'd tell them, "You're fired. Get out of here. Leave." But I guess when you hit that age of don't give a shit, it happens. But I mean, he had so many people that he knew. His brother from another mother lives out in pretty much the middle of nowhere, and I mean, this guy knows some people who know some people. We had an issue with a person, and Tommy's like, if Chuck found out about this, if he found out about this, he'd make a call, and he'd have so and so and this group come up here and make them disappear. He's done it before, and he'll do it again. And I wouldn't put it past him either, because I mean, this guy's like freaking 6'5", 300 pounds, and you don't mess with him. I mean, you think, anybody ever see the movie Renegade, or the TV series Renegade? Let's see, hold on. Let's see, I'm gonna see if I can pull up oh, where is he? Oh, there you go. Yeah, there we go. There's a good image. No, not that stupid thing. There we go. Yeah, this guy. Picture this guy. But taller, meaner looking, and a lot more turquoise. But basically, just he was the Dutton Ranch before the Dutton Ranch existed type guy. Dude was not to be messed with. But I mean, that was family. Man. Oh my god. I just remembered. My stepdad had an old computer. It was an old Windows computer, like, first type of computer to come with a disk drive. And he had his account, when you have accounts, and then you had the little screen of the accounts, and you can click on the little picture and type in your personal password. His account image was of a woman's tattoo above her specific place, and that was his image. The guy was an old pervert. It's just, yeah, dirty jokes, perverse thoughts, grumpiness, but he was a crazy man. His closest friend here in town was our neighbors. Our neighbor came over. I made the call. Neighbor came over. He was devastated. He was he was pretty much just breaking down. They have a trip that they have to get onto, and the news before the trip was pretty much heartbreaking to him. He literally sat on the end of the bed, just staring at the wall for like 20 minutes. He literally had to get dragged from the house to continue and finish what he was doing. But I'm waiting for the day to begin, because I literally can't do what I need to do, because the U.S. government turns off their website during off hours. I mean, what? The website is turned off. Who does it? I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, let's see. Oh, looks like they're finally back up. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They actually have hours of operation for the website, and like they have business hours for a website, and I went on, and they're like, this feature's not available. Come back during business hours. And it's like, you're a website. What are you talking about? Okay. But yeah, it's It's a wild, wild day. So, I will see you guys later. See you on the next one. Rest in peace, old man.